Okay, excited to be a part of a game and an NFL event with so much historical relevance and tradition, and to get a chance to compete on this particular stage. The guys will be ready to have our best performance, and so we're looking forward to that on defense. And what can I say about this offense? Very prolific. The quarterback, veteran player, has seen everything that you can possibly throw at him. This offense is fueled by a very strong and productive rushing attack. Two great players who are heading that charge. The offensive line is a veteran group, and they're really adept at blocking the run concepts that they will feature. The receiving core, extremely dynamic, great speed. They have individuals that can stretch the field. Really good. They also have players who will do a good job as possession players underneath to provide reliable targets for the quarterback. And the backs are also targeted in the passing game. So we're going to do a really good job of making sure that we defend the run, attack the line of scrimmage, create negative plays, and put this team in third and 7+ situations. That's our formula. We're going to continue to work and tweak this formula until we get it the way that we know we're capable of. With that, I'll take your questions.
What do your guys need to be cognizant of when it comes to Jamison Williams and just all the yards after the catch and how to defend that?
Well, the entire offense is really defined by that. And we actually talked about that today. The yards after contact, we have to make sure, first of all, that we have great population at the point of attack, wherever that happens to be, down the field with our safeties, corners, on the perimeter with screens. And so we have to just do a great job of making sure we get people there and that we do an exceptional job of establishing our cup for leverage and tackling the ball carrier.
What stands out to you about the way they use Gibbs?
Wow. Just the way that they can move him around, the way that they can isolate him versus certain aspects of your coverage, and just they find ways to scheme to get him the football. And so we have to just be ready for him as well as the other skill players.
What have you seen from Jared Goff this year that has allowed him to be so good, especially when it comes to completion percentage?
Well, he's getting the ball out of his hand, and the passing game is really controlled. They push it down the field some, but they do a great job of getting the football out of his hand so that he doesn't have to hold it for an extended period of time. Like all veteran quarterbacks, he has a really good idea of what you're doing. He's a smart player. He's seen a lot of defense, a lot of coverage concepts. He understands the leverage of the defenders. That gives him some information. So he's able to manage the game and to work this offense to perfection. And also, he's very selfless. I mean, for a guy that's had a lot of success as a gunslinger, he doesn't mind utilizing the rushing attack to help him.
Eric, you outlined all the talented pieces they have on offense. What is the effect or the challenge you see in facing Ben Johnson as a play caller?
There'll be some wrinkles that'll be thrown at us, and we know that. There'll be some things that he will feature specifically against our defensive construct, and we have to be ready. We have to utilize our rules and just be ready to go. But we know that there'll be some wrinkles that he'll throw at us. There'll be some things that are trademarks and hallmarks of what they like to do. But with this particular coordinator, we have to be ready for some things that could be described as outliers.
We've seen Terrell Smith play some more as the year's gone on, including towards the end of the game last week. What's gone into him getting that increased snap count and playing in those high leverage moments towards the end of the game?
Well, the production and just what we know from him as far as what he can do with his skill set. I mentioned last week, love his man coverage ability, love his ability to diagnose and to really feel route concepts, pattern pressure. And you saw last week in the red zone, he came up with a couple of weeks ago, he came up with a pick for us. And so the production is there. We trust him. He's reliable, and he can really fit exactly what we need that position to do.
Eric, what was your evaluation of the pass rush against Minnesota? You got a couple more sacks in that game.
It was more impactful for sure. And that was really a point of emphasis. We talked about just kind of reestablishing our defensive identity as far as rushing coverage, working together, and that being the way that we generate pressure, not necessarily with our blitzes, but I thought I thought Montez, I really felt Montez in the ball game, really felt him, and that was great to see. He played extremely hard, came within inches in the overtime period of getting the ball away from the quarterback, and we collapsed the pocket, did a better job with that, didn't provide the quarterback a lot of extra time to make off-schedule throws or to escape the pocket. And I think there's more out there for us with that group.
You
With the
mentioned
issue-
last week when it came to Montez, just resetting some of the fundamentals, maybe reestablishing that. Did you see that show up in his get-off this past week?
Oh, without question. Not only with his get off, but with the rush angles. Those things being tighter, which puts the edge of the protection under duress right now and gives him a chance to counter and to do some of the things as far as helping the inside rushers. He took ownership of that, took it to heart, especially when we evaluated him and the entire group. And he knows that we need him to do special things, and he really stepped up.
With the issues you've been having against the run, especially against an offense like this, how do you stop the run without paying a price against the pass?
Well, we've demonstrated that you can accomplish one without compromising the other one. And it comes down to core fundamentals. It comes down to a certain mentality and just really being disruptive, starting on the line of scrimmage with our defensive line and being precise from call to whistle with everything that we're supposed to be doing as it pertains to our look when we're rotated down, how we are aligned, how those things change with motion. We have to be precise, we have to be physical, and the effort has to be there, and it will be.
Jalen Johnson was mentioning some of the missteps defensively have been about execution. Have you noticed some sort of disconnect between the preparation and what's happening on game day?
Not with the preparation. The players are wired in, they're locked in. Our process has been consistent from the time we started working in the offseason all the way up and through last week. Are there areas that you want to identify and make sure that there are no holes in there? Absolutely. We'll evaluate that every week. But the way our coaches are informing the guys and the way the guys are responsive to not only the coaches but our entire process, I'm confident in that. And sometimes you're extremely close and it looks like you're far away, but I believe we're right there. We just need to make sure that we don't have any self-inflicted situations.
What has to go well for you guys on the defensive line against a really veteran offensive line on that other side?
It has to start with our speed. It has to start with our get off. This is a group that works extremely well together, not only in the run game, but in protecting the quarterback. And so we have to create momentum against this group as run defenders and as pass rushers. We have to create it. We have to make sure we're coming off the football. We have to recognize things pre-snap that may give us some information regarding what we're likely to see. We have to be really connected to the situation. So they've seen a lot. We've got a group that's played a lot of football together, so we have to make sure that how we work together really gives us a chance to work against this group and to be successful.
You guys have been pretty good about limiting explosive plays, but past 2 weeks, lots of explosives, Christian Watson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. What's been the difference there that all of a sudden you guys, past couple weeks, have been giving up those explosives?
We'll continue to work at it, you know what I'm saying? And anybody that's put forth your best effort and done everything that you believe needs to be done to accomplish and to achieve a goal and you've fallen short can identify a little bit with the situation that we've been in. The situations that we've been in have not been due to lack of attention to detail, focus, effort. All of those things are still present. We've got to make sure some of the detail things are there and that we don't overcompensate for trying to make plays and all of a sudden now we put ourselves off balance. Sometimes that happens. Guys are so overzealous at trying to be the person that makes the play through no fault of their own, they end up unintentionally compromising the overall structure, and there's a trickle-down effect. I mean, we need 11 guys doing what they're supposed to be doing, and when we get that done, and we've had that, we won't have any issues with explosive plays.
Does it bother you that details are an issue in week 12?
This is my 17th year in the NFL, and and I mentioned last week, sometimes you have to reset things under the best of circumstances. You have to go back and kind of reteach things under the best circumstances. So this is not unusual as far as what my experiences have been. And like I mentioned, it's not due to lack of professionalism. It's not due to lack of attention to detail. As I mentioned, sometimes when guys are so I don't want to say overzealous because we want everybody wanting to be at the point of attack and finish a ball play, but you have to make sure you do that in a way that doesn't compromise your overall strategy.